I'll call the meeting to order. Let's see, Bill, roll call, sorry. Bill?
I'm here.
Did we lose Bill?
Can you hear me?
Bill, I don't think we can hear you.
Apparently you muted me out because I'm unmuted.
Is Bill talking? Because I can't hear him.
He's gonna call in.
Oh, I thought he was online, sorry.
No, he is, but sometimes his audio goes out,
Oh,
so he has to call.
Unmute me.
okay, while we're waiting for Bill to call in, Sheila?
Here.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, now, Anna?
John?
I can hear you now, Bill, a little bit.
Thank you, John. Hope?
Yes.
Bill, are you online now?
I've been online, Jim.
Oh, I can barely hear you now. I couldn't hear you before. And myself for board members. Anna, can you go through a list of who else is online, please?
Here, we have Julie Smith, Melinda Smith, Samantha Rice, and Kirsten. Kirsten, what's Kirsten's last name? Sorry.
Kristen Weber.
Kristen Weber.
And then I apologize. I should have asked, is Danny online? Frida? I'm missing somebody. Who the heck am I missing?
You got
Me, Bill, Sheila, John, Hope. Oh no, that's it too. Frida and Danny.
yeah.
All right. Get a motion to approve the minutes that we just got.
I make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes we just got.
John made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Sheila.
Sheila, thank you. Any discussion?
Call for question.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. And the ayes have it. Thank you. Under reports, Julie, financial report.
Jim, before we do those reports, can I add something to the agenda?
Okay.
Bill has an announcement about the VA coming down. Bill, do you want to do that first?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, Bill.
Okay, I got a call from Phil from Rural Health. They would like to come down with the new VA director for the state of Alaska, Tom. And they'd like to do a stand down in Valdez and do it at the Valdez Native Tribe. Which means that they
What is the stand down?
what that means is they'll come down and contact the veterans that they have on their list and see if there's any issues that they need taken care of.
Okay.
But they would like,
Do we know when that is, Bill?
Yeah, that'll be August 31st. They wanted to do in September for the holiday there, but I told them I would be out hunting, so I told them I'm leaving the 1st or 2nd of September, so they'd like to do it on the 31st of August.
Okay, does that work for V&T, Anna? Do you know?
Yes, that works fine.
Okay. So we need to get the information out to our veteran members and beneficiaries.
Okay, we will. And Bill, can you let me know how many you expect?
No, I can't because the HEPA law will not allow us to find out who the veterans are.
Okay, do you
But
know it?
but the VA, when they come down there, the HEPA law does not apply to them because they have a list of the veterans that are registered for their health care. What I will do is get a hold of Twyla Beck, and she is no longer with the legislation office, but she is also willing to help out big time. And she knows who a lot of the veterans are, and she'll contact them.
Okay, and do you
But
know if the,
Mike-
well, sorry, go ahead, Jim.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to know if we're gonna be able to make appointments or, you know, so that we can practice social distancing like we're supposed to safely.
The last time they did a stand down here, they just using the office as a base to call the veterans up and make appointments for them to come in if they need to, or see if they could do anything over the phone. But it would be nice to put it out in our newsletter and our Facebook. And if any veterans need to be signed up for their benefits, this is the time to do it because Rural Health will be doing a stand down in Valdez. And this will be sent to the legislation office, to the job service. So
I'm just wondering if like, if we put the news, or if we put the phone number out, if they can make appointments ahead of time. Or, you know what I mean? Like, or, so we don't have, you know, so we don't have like, you know, 10 people show up at one time.
well, what I'll do is I will contact Phil if I get the okay from the board and the Valdez Native Tribe. I will have him contact you, Anna, and then he can have the number to call Phil directly.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you.
And like I said, Dr. Ballard has resigned and left the state, and Tom, I can't remember Tom's last name, but he took it over, and he was the one that wanted to actually come down to Valdez and do the stand down.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the only thing I had for concern was the COVID and a group of people, but it sounds like there's a plan in place to minimize people contacting each other, so that's good.
Yes, the only concern I had is if the VNT was still shut down, or if we could use the community room as their base and they will be doing their social distancing.
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
And I got your blessings to contact Phil and tell him it's okay to use the VNT to come on down.
Is there any opposition? Hearing no opposition, Bill, you're good to go.
All right, thanks.
Jim,
Yes.
I have one other thing before we get started anymore is so that we're following open meeting laws, and now that we're doing our meetings on Zoom, and then going forward, we'll probably be doing our meetings on Zoom, even though hopefully we'll be able to do them in person again. We are supposed to make sure that these meetings are recorded, and not executive sessions, but just the public part. And then they can be archived so that people can listen to them if they want. And going forward, once you guys have agreed to this part, then we'll put it out in our newsletter and on our Facebook page, the links for people to attend. They won't be able to comment during the meetings, but they can ask their question in chat. And then I can facilitate those questions to you and to the board when it's appropriate, and then you can answer them back. So that way we don't have, any interruptions to the meeting, but it still allows the public to be able to participate.
Anna, this is Bill.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes.
On the chat box, Hope is saying, I need someone to tell me what Bill is saying.
Oh,
What is
okay,
the VA doing? So apparently she can't hear me or whatever,
okay.
or if she can, I don't know
Let
if she
me
needs
answer her back. Thank you.
if she has any information that she needs to.
Okay. And I just wanted to say too, Jim, that so that we can all get used to this technology, I can set up individual times with each board member so that we can like practice, and I can show you individually the different, like the chat box and how to unmute and mute yourself and unvideo yourself, or video, turn on the camera so we can see you, different things like that. So I don't want anybody to think that we're just throwing this Zoom technology on them and there's no guidance, because there is. So I just wanted to let you know that we are supposed to be including the public and making it available to them, but the board has to agree to that first.
So as far as the Open Meetings Act goes, how does that govern Valdez Native Tribe board meetings?
Because you're a 501c3, you're obligated to follow the open meeting laws of Alaska. And so what that means is that the beneficiaries and members have a right to attend these meetings, and they can either do it via Zoom or live, or they can also watch it live on YouTube, and or they can go to our webpage and access the archived recording. And none of the closed sessions will be recorded. Remember how we did it last time, how like I closed out and you guys had your closed session?
Yeah.
We can do it that way, or I actually even know how to create a room now for the board members to go to, but the rest of us can't hear anything you say, we can't see you, and you come back when you're ready. Like if you have to go into closed session during the middle of a meeting, or you can close the whole meeting down and then somebody can text me and we can start all over, whichever you feel is safest.
Okay. All right. So can we put a pin in that for now and then go to reports?
Sure.
All right. So Sheila, I'm going to step off the phone for a few minutes. Can you take the meeting for a few minutes?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
So we're on to financial for Julie.
Okay, the first and second page are the balance sheet. No major changes to anything. The only FY21 money so far we've received, we'll see in Chugach Mute, which is on the very last page. No other funding's been received yet for FY21. Any questions on the balance sheet? Page 3 is the profit and loss for the medical reimbursements. We are still have $48,190 roughly from that 95 that we're spending. Page 4 is the BIA. Any questions on BIA? Page 5 is IHS with the COVID monies down below. We have spent to date of COVID $6,246.68. And it's broken out between tribal, and then down below the CARES and the equipment. And we've received no IHS funds yet for FY21.
Julie, this is Sheila. When do we normally receive those fundings?
They start trickling in because the end of the fiscal year is 9/30.
Mm-hmm.
So they start trickling in little bits here and there. Haven't received any new notifications of awards yet, but that's not untypical.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can look up at the top of, say, for example, the IHS report that's done in yellow. It shows pay 1 received in October of 2019, pay 2 November 2019, so forth and so forth. So they start coming in August, September, October. Page 6 is the Chugach-Mute, and we have received some FY21 awards for that. The caregivers at the 9,500 and some, Elders Nutrition 22,000, older Native Americans 1,058, for a total of $32,660.71. I've started the Elders Fish Distribution Program, and so far I think about half of the elders that usually pick up have been in to pick up fish, and so far I've spent $4,700 roughly. Last year we spent a total with the fish and the charters about $8,300, so I expect to spend maybe that much in fish.
Anna, this is Bill. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Bill.
Hey, on the Elders Fish Program, could I make one request? Next time we get fish, we get them individually vacuum sealed, because some of the elders, you know, when you get those big slabs, it's really nice if you have a vacuum sealer to get them, but they're flash frozen. So nobody really cooks that big of a halibut. They got to cut it up into pieces.
Oh,
And
I
some of our
see.
elders don't have the deals for vacuum sealer. It'd be nice to cut them up into portion size deals and just get them vacuum sealed, flash frozen and vacuum
Yeah, the
sealed.
vacuum sealed ones, they were telling me the only ones that they can do is with the skin on, and I've had requests that don't like the skin on, so it's either or
Well,
we have a vacuum sealer here too as well.
well, that's what I'm saying. If that's the case, Julie, what I would suggest is we cut them up into meal size deals and vacuum sealing for our elders.
Okay.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for myself, but I would just think it was
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And I understand fish on,
Okay,
fish
just let
off.
you know.
So that's the only request I have on that. Other than that, the slabs are great, but They're just kind of big for our elders if they're
Yeah.
just 2 people.
They are.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm back online.
Okay, so we're just at the end of Julie's report, if there's any questions. And now I'm handing it to you, Jim.
All right. Any further questions about elderfish? Hearing none, we'll go to Mindy, healthcare.
There's nothing new going on with healthcare. It's still just the same 65% with contracts we have.
All right. Any questions about healthcare?
Oh, did you guys notice that Prism has came into town and opened an office? I don't know their hours yet, but I didn't know if maybe we've spoke with them about trying to get something worked up for our members to go to.
No, I haven't made it there yet.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys knew it was, they opened an
Did
office.
notice that.
Okay.
Who came to town?
Prism. And
Is that
they're down
Pacific Rim
on,
Institute of Safety Management?
it's for eyeglasses.
Oh, okay.
And so they just opened office. We just turned their phone services on a couple weeks ago. So I noticed they have an office right on Main Street, and I didn't know if we could get a contract maybe with them or something.
Yeah, Sheila, because now the way IHS eye care is, our members, beneficiaries can go wherever they want for their eye
Right.
care. Yeah,
I remember that. So I thought that's kind of cool that they had just opened an office down here.
yeah.
All right. Next item, education.
Education, we're starting to get back a couple of the continued higher eds since they're going back to school. We did have an AVT graduate that has now opened a business here locally. So I'm going to push that out in the newsletter with our congratulations. And we have awarded one other AVT application since then.
All right. Any questions on education? Hearing none, TWIC.
TWIC office is opening again tomorrow. That's it.
Okay. Anna, is this where you want to introduce? Did you say we have a new hire for the TWIC?
We do. She's not starting until next week though, so we'll introduce her at the next board meeting.
Okay, so we've hired somebody, but they don't start until next week. Is that what I heard?
Correct.
And who is the person that was hired?
That's online now is the advocate for the victim services program.
No. I mean for the TWIC. Who was hired that will start next week?
Oh, her name is Bernice. Sorry, I'm forgetting everybody's last name today. What is her last name, Mindy?
Crinky.
I'm sorry, Melinda, I didn't hear you.
Bernice Crinky.
Okay.
Anna,
Any
this is
questions
Jim.
on TWIC?
I have one, Jim.
Okay, go ahead.
It'll be a while before Bernice was able to actually run the TWIC office, correct? She's still got to go through some testing and stuff like that.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
because she's hired, she's not going to be on the job till she gets her certifications, correct?
Correct. But the position is TWIC/receptionist, office assistant. So she'll be doing other things besides TWIC.
Okay, but for the TWIC part, it's going to be a while before she can actually do the TWIC.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
there's a process to that. The company is called IDEMIA and they handle all that of, you know, their very strict background checks and all that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, anything else for TWIC? Hearing none, enrollment report. and slash request?
We do not have any new enrollments as of this time.
And no request?
No.
All right. Next item, North Pacific Rim Housing Authority Youth Worker Program.
So that ended as of Friday, and they did an awesome job. They built 8 benches for North Pacific Rim Housing. They built a table set, which is out here under the patio area now. They also did 3 large flower pots and 3 smaller ones. So this year it was a lot more hands-on learning, building, how to use tools, and I've heard nothing but good things. They had fun this year and learned quite a lot.
All right. Any questions for Youth Worker Program? All right. Thank you, Mindy. Next up is Samantha, Victim Service Office's new hire.
Hello. Real quick, I meant to mention last time, but I think the books got delivered the day we had our last meeting, but in the office, Victim Services office there at VNT, there is a children's storybook, but it's Our Smallest Warriors, Our Strongest Medicine. It's overcoming COVID. It's a children's book, and it is an intertribal project by Johns Hopkins University, and their books are free. So if you guys know anybody or the kids that would like, it's a real beautiful book and really beautifully illustrated, and they're free. And if you let Julie know, I can hand them out to you guys, and if you know any kids that need them. But it's about overcoming COVID and just self-efficacy and strength and hope. It's a real sweet book. So they're free. If you guys want some, grab some, hand them out. It'd be awesome. Just want to let you guys know that.
And they're at the VNT office, or are they up in the valley?
Nope, they're at VNT. Yep. Ask Julie. She knows where they're at. And you can take. I think I asked for 30, and I can get more. So if we go through them, I can order more from them. So they're keeping a like a survey going weekly. So I just have to let them know numbers as people have taken them. So just ask Julie about them.
All right.
And then real quick on elders baskets, we've gotten hygiene kits and hand sanitizer. The tea is supposed to be there this week, but we're having a hard time finding cleaning products. Wilson Brothers, as of today, still isn't able to get us a mass quantity of cleaning supplies for our elders baskets, but I'm still working on it.
Now, the Elders Basket, is that from South Central, or is that a different package that
Anna, I think it's a collaboration.
Some of it is from South Central. I think just the cards, right?
Yeah, South Central just donated cards for the basket, like playing cards.
So Samantha
Okay.
is putting together the baskets, and she'll be working with Mindy too, because I asked them to combine an introduction, a way to introduce victim services to the elders. And August 21st, I believe, is National Senior Citizen Day. So those two programs are working together to get our elders some care packages. During COVID, that's been something that tribes have been able to do, is give out care packages to their elders. But, we already have a freight issue here in Valdez of getting things to us. Then when COVID happened, we were not able to buy bulk items. So that's been an issue. And then freight has been another issue. So Samantha and Melinda have really worked hard at getting things that, you know, would boost the morale of the elders, help them with their own personal hygiene, and then cleaning their homes and nutrition. We've been doing, you know, Julie's been helping too with the bags that we got from the senior center, because we had to partner with the senior center so that we could even get them groceries, because it's really difficult during COVID. So anyways, that's what those guys are doing, and they're doing a great job, and I'm excited about getting to see what they look like when they're complete before we, you know, get them to the seniors. So thanks, Julie and Mindy and Samantha.
And then Kristen Weber is the new hire for the Victim Services Advocate, and she has an awesome background and experience and education and just work, and excited for you guys to meet her, but I'll let her introduce herself. She is on phone call right now. So go for it, Kristen.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. So I'm originally born in Ketchikan, and I grew up I'm from Metlakatla Indian community and down in Southeast. And I did serve for our tribal council a couple of years, from January of 2011 through December of 2012. I served 1 year with the Health Education Welfare Committee, as well as 1 year with the Natural Resource Committee, and 2 years with Law and Order. And I did a lot of help with the community members, just trying to aim them in the right direction as far as finding proper resources, whether it came from their own welfare or the child custody cases, and pretty excited to join you guys. I don't know if you have any real questions for me right now. I'm still getting familiar with kind of names and faces. I've been here for just about a year in Valdez, and yeah.
Thank you, Kristen.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, we're looking forward to working with you.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you. And that's all I have.
Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you, Samantha.
You're welcome.
Unfinished business,
Samantha.
Mirac
Hey,
Flooring.
Kristen. So Jim, on the Mirac flooring, we haven't received any funding for it yet or anything. I just want to keep it on the unfinished business so that we don't lose track of it, and just to keep you guys updated on it. But right now, in the last month, we haven't had any new developments on it.
All right, thank you. Unfinished business, Construction Committee.
Bill, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I can take it. Unfortunately, we had a meeting with the building committee and nobody showed up. So it was just Anna and I. Anna can tell you what we talked about, but without a committee to bring to the board, there's really nothing that the committee can really bring to the board. But Anna can tell you what we talked about on both the building committee and the restoration committee.
Yeah, so because there wasn't enough people to have the committee do a report, I moved the information down to new business for the construction committee, because there's an issue that needs to be voted on by the board. So that's new. I hope that was correct in putting it down in the new. And then on the repatriation committee, what we needed to talk about And there's really not anything that, I mean, I guess, you know, last year the board did a resolution so that I can write grants, and we talked about the repatriation of artifacts from getting them back from Berlin, and that's why we started that repatriation committee. And so there's nothing really too new except for that, you know, I already submitted one grant application for repatriation. It's called a SEDS grant, and that's Social and Economic Development grant for the tribe. And it would be to have a museum / gift shop in the Tribal Elders Wellness Center, and you know, have like displays of artifacts or art or things like that. This grant that I'm writing now is with the Endowment for the Humanities, and it's in collaboration with the folks that are in Germany, and they're trying to help us get some of those artifacts back, if not actually the artifacts themselves, virtually. And so they would be taking 3D images of them and then sending us those 3D images, and the grant is for a repository to store those images, because they could actually be reconstructed with a 3D printer and then put on exhibit. So what's driving all of this, you guys, is the I always forget the name of them. You know, the international, what's that called, Bill? United Nations. Yes, God, sorry. The United Nations has put a mandate to all the countries that they have to give back artifacts that were taken, you know, pillaged, spoils of war, whatever you want to call them. They were stolen, and so they have to give them back. And so Germany just the other day, literally like 4 days ago, put out a news article that Germany is trying to figure out what to do with all of those artifacts, because they have artifacts not just from the United States, from all over the world, you know. So they're trying to figure out what to do with them. So in the meantime, there's a lot of money in grants that tribes can apply for, and that's what we're doing so that we can participate in that, because those artifacts are going to have to go somewhere, and there was a large collection of them. That's what Bill and the Solanoffs went and saw back in last November. There's a lot of artifacts from Prince William Sound that are scheduled to be exhibited in a great big giant museum in Germany for one more year called the Humboldt Forum. And then after that, they're supposed to either get put back in storage or exhibit in Germany and or be brought back to the United States. One of
All
the
right, so what do you need as far as from the board? We'll go back to the building committee in a minute, but for the repatriation committee, what is it that you need from us for this to proceed?
Okay, so I don't really need anything. I just wanted to give you guys an update and let you know that that's going on, because it's very important. It's taken up, you know, 3 of the board members' time and my time, and but it, you know, it's worthwhile. It's actually our responsibility. One of the questions too about the repatriation committee was there was an African-American man whose family and an author of a book in Anchorage, they were looking for his remains, and they were supposedly in the native cemetery of Old Town. So when they were looking for those remains, they contacted the museum, and then they directed them to the tribe. And so long story short, we found out that his remains were actually reburied. They were exhumed, and then they were reburied in a cemetery in Virginia for military people, because that's where he was from. So that that issue is closed now. So we know that his remains were taken care of properly. And going
Do
forward.
we know if his family knows?
Yeah, they know. So everybody was notified
Okay.
and it's all good. Yeah, so I wanted to keep you guys up to date on that too. I did get another phone call that there might be an issue with remains during construction of anything in Valdez. And I told him that, you know, we're aware of that, and we have a repatriation committee. We're working with the museum, and if there's any, you know, findings, to let us know right away. That we can't do anything about old stories. And so going forward, the museum is building a new museum, and I wanted to ask you guys if you think it's important that the Valdez Native Tribe has its own wing or annex or something.
I believe
Uh,
good.
Bill, were you starting to say something?
Yes, I believe that Valdez Native Tribe should have a wing in the museum.
Okay, Anna, if V&T has a wing in a local museum, how does that affect, if at all, a possible repository of our own?
Well, it'd help a lot because, you know, like right now, the only building we have in the you know, future that could even handle any of that is the Tribal Elders Wellness Center, and I don't think it's going to be big enough because it's similar in size to the community, you know, to the administration building. So we need this space. It's always hard to find a construction grant. And so if the Valdez Museum can cover the construction, and we can do the other part as far as getting artifacts back, and even this grant that I'm working on now has money in it for like a curator for 4 years. So that would help. So I think it's important that we collaborate with the museum, and probably, you know, the university system is going to get involved. It's what we're trying to do right now with the repatriation committee is get prepared for what's going to be offered to us, because like I said, those countries, and it's not just Germany, it's actually the United States too. So let's say there's a museum in California that has Alaska Native artifacts. They have to give them back to Alaska. And if they're from Prince William Sound, the Valdez Native Tribe with the other tribes is going to be asked about them. So like Cordova will be asked, Chiniga, all of them.
Anna, this is
So
Bill.
is this,
Anna,
Mm-hmm.
Bill.
Yes.
Jim knows they've been on a deal to DC where the Smithsonian has a lot of artifacts that
Yeah.
belong to our area also too. So does that apply to America's Smithsonians?
Yes, and the Smithsonian actually will be included in that grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities, because they set the standard on how things are supposed to be handled and exhibited, and, you know, all that cataloged, all of that. So we will be working with the Smithsonian.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And already there's some other museums that, like one in Anchorage and also in Dutch Harbor. Anyways, Homer, yeah.
so Anna, the first question I have do we need to do MOAs or MOUs with entities now?
We don't right now, but I would like to have your guys' okay that I can draw those up and then have those ready for the next board meeting. And by then we'll know more about where we're at in the grant process, because that grant is due the end of this month. So during the September board meeting, I'll be able to give you an update on that and have those MOAs ready for your review. And then I could send them on to the museum directors.
And are you going to work up an MOU as well?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I would like to see a proposed MOA and MOU before. Yeah, I think that would be good.
Do you think we need both though, Jim? Don't you think an MOA, a memorandum of agreement, would be enough?
Personally, I think MOU is warranted as well. Just so we know the parameters and entities we're dealing with. And then once we go into an official MOA, then that's different. But
Okay.
I think the MOU is important.
Okay.
It lays out the groundwork that when we're working with different entities, then once we go with a certain entity, you know, each one then will have an MOA for that.
Right. Okay.
Okay, anything else for repatriation? Okay, we'll go back to construction committee or building committee. I don't have it in front of me. Who are besides you, Bill, who else is on the building committee?
I do believe it's Frida and John.
Okay. So it's important when we have these committees and there's meeting dates and times set up that the committee members participate. So that's, you know, it works best if the committees do the work and then bring it to the full board with recommendations. So I would hope, and Bill, have you guys decided who the chair of the committee is?
Not really, but I was the only one that showed up for the last meeting and talking with Anna on it. So,
well,
also,
unless there's an objection, Bill, I'm going to make you the chair of the building committee.
I have no problem, but like I say, if you assign people to the meetings, it's a waste of my time if nobody shows up. I mean, I can communicate with Anna, but it's really can't make a decision and bring to the board unless I have participation in it. And as the National Indian Health Board deals where I'm taking up a lot of my time when the legislature's in, I squeeze these meetings in when I can in between my other obligations. So,
Bill, I appreciate the effort you're putting in. And I agree, you know, if they're going to be on a committee, you know, it's upon them to participate.
Anna, do we have who was put on the committees?
Yes.
Who are the committee members?
So for the construction committee, it's you, Frida, and John. And then on the repatriation, it's you, Danny, and Hope.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. I would encourage, and the repatriation committee meeting, Bill, you and Danny, and was it Hope?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Unless I hear an objection, Bill, I'm going to have you be the chair of the repatriation committee as well. please coordinate with the appropriate committee members and schedule meetings to suit your schedule because of the amount of stuff you're doing for NIHB. So I hope they participate, Bill.
Me too, but I also want an understanding. If not, I should be able to work with Anna because, like I say, on this repatriation, you know, the big companies like Volkswagen actually put on the symposium that we went to in Berlin, and they got all the curators together, and it's nice to show unity when you're talking to these big companies that are furnishing and trying to make right the wrongs that was done in the 1800s. So, and a lot of the stuff that Germany's got is coming back from Russia, and that's a political war game that's played out in World War II, where all of the artifacts was actually moved to Russia after World War II, after Berlin fell. But now that Russia is changing their policies, they're bringing everything back to Berlin and opening up their museums over there. And then now that they want to right the wrongs that was done our people years and years ago. So it's important, and yeah, it'd be nice to see it because being able to see the artifacts and even actually get some to travel here when you're working with Monica with the rest of the people in Germany. You know, there's a museum in Homer that's working with us with Monica from Anchorage, but I think that we should have, you know, Valdez Museum involved, and even the Native Village EAC wants to get involved now. Not EAC Corp, but the Native Village EAC.
Okay.
So it'd be nice to see Valdez Native Tribe bring some of the history back from Prince William Sound area and the Copper River Delta.
Yep, that would be nice. All right. Well, thank you, Bill, for your efforts.
Jim, this is Sheila. I have a question for maybe Anna. For our next board meeting, maybe on the agenda, can we add an update on the tribal minute cards? I haven't heard about those lately. Are we? And on the next agenda.
The tribal what?
Admin
Identification.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
We could add it to the next meeting, so because it's not on this one, I just wanted to request to add that for the next meeting. If we could.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila.
Okay, before we get out of unfinished business, there are, if I remember right, 3 board members up this year. Bill, John, and I believe Frida. Is that correct?
I know I'm up for re-election, Jim.
John, are you up this year?
As far as I know.
And I'm pretty sure Frida is up. Bill and John, are you going to run again for board?
I am.
I am. Thank you.
Okay. And I believe Frida is. I need to confirm with her. So, Anna, we need, trying to think how the best way to do it. Notify our members that there will be 3 seats up for election this year. The election will be in November. We will, what is it called? Approve the results or accept the results in December. And the three directors that win will be sworn in January.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it like we did last year, okay?
That's fine. But while we're on the subject, there's a good chance I won't be in Valdez in November for the meeting.
Okay.
But I'm not positive. But yeah, I just want to make sure we have a good roadmap like we did last year.
Okay. And will you be able to attend the one in November by phone?
I will definitely, if I have signal, I will, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm 99% sure Frida will be running this year. I just need to confirm with her.
Okay.
So anything else on elections this year? All right. Next is new business, COVID testing.
Hey, Jim, this is Bill.
Bill?
I'd like to bring up, just like Sheila did on unfinished business, how are we doing with iPads for the board members? Seem to fall off the radar.
So that's another thing that has been hard to get is computers and tablets because I guess COVID, homeschooling, I don't know. But anyways, we are working on that, hopefully sending out the order this week. I think I found some on Amazon.
Anna, this is Bill.
Mm-hmm.
It took 1 week for me to get a brand new computer from Dell.
The problem that with the tablets, Bill, is when I try to bulk order, you know, like 10, I need 10. So maybe I'm gonna have to order them one at a time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, anything else for unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll go to new business, COVID testing.
Okay, so in your packets, you were given a copy of the letter from the state epidemiologist. And it's kind of interesting how this has all gone around. So initially, I reached out to Chugachmute, and Kelly Baker helped me get a rapid testing machine and the reagents. But as you guys know, we're not a clinic, and you have to be certified to use the machine and do the testing and have all those tests legitimate, right? So the hospital already had 2 of those machines and the reagents, and they didn't need ours, but they asked us to keep it in storage in case they did, because we would have to partner with them, with the lab, to get those done. So then, you know, it's a concern because we have, our elders should at least be able to get tested. So I reached out to Dr. Alfaro and the hospital, to Olivia Foster, who is the nurse over infection. And then she reached out to the epidemiology office at the state. The issue was that the rapid tests don't always provide an accurate result. They have a lot of false positives, a lot of false negatives. So they recommended that we only have people get tested that have symptoms, and that they go to the hospital and they have the test that the state recommends, which takes 4 to 10 days to get the results back. So now it's come back around, just as of today, that we're going to set up the machine in Dr. Alfaro's office tomorrow morning, and then our people can go in there and get tested if they need to. They've always been able to go get tested. The testing is free. We haven't had a whole lot of people call. Julie, if you have any input on this, on how many people have called, or how many calls about a week you get for people asking to go get tested. But anyways, IHS has given us money to pay for testing, but we don't have to use it because it's all free. Our members could go up to Copper River and get tested if they wanted to, but now, as of tomorrow, they'll be able to get both tests, which they already could anyways, but they can get it in addition from Dr. Alfaro's office. So we've been working on that a lot.
Hannah, this is Bill.
Yes.
And the reagent expires in the end of October?
Yes, and so that was another reason that I went back around to everybody and said, can you use this? Do you want it? Because we don't want it to sit here and expire and find out that there were people that wanted to get tested and didn't, or couldn't, or whatever. And it kind of went like there was a lot of testing supplies and then there wasn't any, and then it went back, oh no, we were fine, and then now it's back to we might run out. So we're staying on top of it. Kind of a crazy roller coaster ride, though.
Any other questions for COVID? All right, next item, Alaska Community Foundation Isolation Facility.
Okay, so some of the funding that, you know, we talked about before that was sent to us, we weren't able to take because one, we're not a clinic and we couldn't meet the criteria of that funding. But just recently, we were given the opportunity to participate in a grant from the Alaska Community Foundation, which is, they got CARES money from the state, because I don't know if you guys know or not, but CARES money is the big pot of money that tribes got from the federal government to help counteract the ramifications of COVID. But Alaska tribes didn't get it because a tribe in Washington took us to court and said Alaska Native corporations are not the same as tribes, but they lost in the Supreme Court, and we helped Alaska Native corporations win, Chugach specifically, because we were able to provide one of the original resolutions for the government to give Chugach the authority to govern over the tribes. So the Supreme Court judge, after reading our legal brief and another one provided by AFN, after 2 hours of looking at those two briefs, came back and said, no, Alaska Native corporations are the same as tribes. So we won, but of course, the other side appealed it. And so now the money, $65 million or billion dollars, is stuck in appellate court. So in the meantime, some of the CARES money got released to the state of Alaska, or tribes specifically. The Valdez Native tribe was offered $2 million. Not that we need to spend all that, but that's what's available to us. And the purpose of this funding go round is to purchase a house for an isolation facility. Now, we could have one built, but the money has to be spent and the project has to be done by the end of December. Now, mind you, they just informed us of this a week ago. So there's no way in Valdez that we can get anything built. So I called Olin and was talking to him about it, since he's usually our general contractor on our buildings. And he and his crew have just completed remodeling a North Pacific Rim house over on Copper Drive. I think it's called Copper Drive. Is it Copper Drive? Anyway, sorry. And I went and looked at it. I have the key if anybody wants to go see it. Yeah, 627 Copper Drive. It is very nice. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. They've redone the whole thing, put new floors in, all new paint, appliances, cupboards, a brand new boiler. The floors are heated. They redid the Arctic entrance. The windows are all good, double pane. Brand new bathtub, toilet, sinks. And Olin drew up this purchase agreement to offer it to you guys for $140,000. The grant will pay for it. the purchase agreement is contingent on us getting the grant. In the grant also, I wrote in 2 transit vehicles, vans, because we had an interesting thing happen because we don't have Raven Air anymore and we don't have a ferry. And unfortunately, some people don't have family members or friends who can give them a ride. We had 2 tribal members not have a ride, and we're not able to provide a ride because we don't have that kind of a vehicle. These people can't like set up, you know, they need to be like laid down, like, you know, it's not an emergency, so they couldn't transport them by ambulance and they couldn't medevac them out. But we don't have the vehicle, we don't have the manpower, and we don't have the insurance in case something went wrong. So in this grant for this isolation building, I wrote in 2 transit vans, a community health representative, and a driver. And then with all that, we'll get the right insurance. That'll be in there too, if you guys agree, if you want to go forward with that. And so on the agenda, I asked for a resolution for that. And I think I sent you the resolution, did I? Sorry. So that's what I need, Jim, is
So you need a motion,
a
Anna?
motion. Yes.
You need a motion to purchase this house from Olin on
Yes.
contingency of the grant going through?
Yeah. Yes.
I'll
I need
make
you
a-
guys. I need you guys to vote on it because I need a resolution for the grant.
So you need a motion for a resolution also?
Yes.
Also move to make a motion.
I'll second it.
What is your motion, Bill?
Just what I said, Jim, to be able to purchase the house that Olin's talking on Copper, contingency with the grant, and to make a resolution to apply for the grant. But if the grant doesn't come through, then we're not obligated to go through with buying the house for an isolation facility.
Okay, so the motion is to approve a resolution to purchase a house contingent upon receiving grant money. And the house at present belongs to North Pacific Rim. So there's 2 things going on here. 1, approve the resolution. 2, approve the agreement between North Pacific Rim and VNT. And then as far as the transportation van, CHR, and driver, that's a separate issue?
No,
'Cause
it
we need
has,
to-
it's all in the same thing, Jim, because it's all in the same grant.
Okay, but we're not authorizing because of the 2 additional hires and the 2 vans until we get the grant money though, correct?
Right,
Correct.
so, yeah.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to approve a resolution authorizing spending of grant money contingent upon receiving the grant money to purchase a building from North Pacific Rim Housing Authority.
This is John
Is there a
Boone, I'll
second?
second it.
John seconded the motion. Any discussion?
Yeah, there's some discussion, Jim. Because if this
Bill?
grant goes through and the house is bought, I heard some concerns about property taxes. I heard deals about utilities, because it's not, we're not putting in for, what do you call that, a staffing package. as such for the utilities and stuff, but if we had a house built, we would still be responsible for the same property tax. And I asked Anna about this. As a nonprofit, are we exempt from some of the taxes on the house? And I was hoping she'd come up with information on that.
So I haven't had a chance yet to talk with anybody from the city on the taxes, but I will, and I can let you guys know. But one of the things that also this grant is from the federal government is, you know, they're just doing it kind of by the seat of their pants. They don't have any long-term goals or requirements or anything like that. You know, we have heard that they're going to extend the life of the grant past December 31st, which would help a lot. But one of the things is they want to know what we're going to repurpose the isolation house for once COVID is no longer an issue. They don't know when that will be, but they're still asking the question. One of the things we can do with that house is we can use it even at the same time as the men's shelter for victim services. And then I spoke with our grant manager, and while we are not able to charge the victim services program rent per se on the house, by moving Samantha and Kristen's office over to the house, we can charge for utilities. So the utilities will be paid out of victim services. And so that just leaves the question on the property taxes, and that's it. You'll own the house. It'll be an asset to the tribe, and that's it.
So I guess one question I have, we just received the deed for the administration building. Is there a tax liability to the tribe for that?
I do not know, because we actually have not gotten that back yet, Jim. Olin's still working on it. I know he's been busy and doing things with his family and whatnot, but we're working on it. So I will find out about those taxes as well.
Okay. Because that would be a good indication if the isolation building is going to be taxable. I would imagine it is, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know with our nonprofit status how that's going to work.
Yeah, nor do I.
I'll find out.
Hey, Jim, this is John Boone.
John, go ahead.
On the issue of the property tax, if there's a property on the Copper Street there, I just paid mine, and it's mine is what, $1,400 a year for my property tax.
And that house is way smaller.
It won't be the same, but it's just
Yeah, it's
kind of putting it out there for information.
yeah, and you know, we
Okay.
have that, we have that money that we still get from BIA and IHS for payment on the tribal administration building that now we put into the building fund account. So, you know, you'll have money there to use if need be.
And then I guess, Anna, another question I have about the Copper Street or Copper Drive property, are we just getting the house or the land that's on it as well?
The land too, the lot.
Okay,
The single-
I didn't hear the land portion involved in it. That's great.
Yeah, and it's really nice too. And you guys should, you know, if you want to go see it, I'll give you the key anytime you want, because it's worth looking at. It's really nice. They did a really good job remodeling it.
Hey, Jim, this is Bill.
Bill?
The only reason I brought up the taxes and everything else like that was because someone was concerned about it, and I really don't want that to be a deterrenting factor on it, because what it could be used for and moving the V&T forward outweighs what we'd have to, because, you know, it's just like any other building that we have. We'll have to take care of the electricity and lights and fuel and everything else like that too. But if it's into the programs, the program should be able to take care of some of it.
Okay. Any more discussion on the motion that was put forward?
Question?
Question's been called. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say nay. And the ayes have it. Next item, Gilson Middle School Science Program donation. Anna?
Okay, so they're just asking for a donation, and I'm asking that we donate $500 to them.
Oh, I thought the request for 5,000. Did I miss?
It was, you know, every time we get asked for a donation, we usually do about 10% of what they ask for, because they always ask for something like that.
Do we still have any gaming money left?
Julie?
I think there was like 2,000 last
yes.
time, but I don't remember.
Page 1 of the balance sheet, the gaming is, there is $2,451.
Well, I make a motion that we donate $500 to the school out of our gaming account, since that needs to be donated anyway.
Second it.
So that's there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I said second it.
It's been seconded. Under discussion, this is an allowable use of the gaming funds.
Yes. We're supposed to donate it, and we're supposed to get rid of it. Right, Sheila?
Yes, it is, and that is if they do qualify, or they should, yes.
Okay, great. Any other discussion?
Question?
Question's been called. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. And the ayes have it. Thank you. Next item, COVID-19 strategy. I think we covered that pretty much, haven't we, Anna? Oh, in relation to reopening V&T, sorry.
Yeah. So in relation to that, we've been following Alaska Native Health Board's recommendation for their other facilities, and at this time, it's still to stay with by appointment only.
Okay, any discussion on that?
Jim, this is Bill.
Bill?
Just the one discussion with having the VA use the big room for the stand down. With social distances, if the rest of the V&T is not open to the public.
That's why I was saying if they could call, you know, but I can work that out with them.
I sent an email to Phil, and he won't be back in till the 14th, I guess. But I also sent an email to Tom, and I gave him your contact information.
Okay, yeah, and it works out really good. You know, we just make appointments and have them come in one at a time, and we'll work it out. We'll make it work.
Okay. Next meeting. How is September 21st, Monday at 4 o'clock sound?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me too, Jim. Doesn't look like I got anything going right now.
Okay, Monday, September 21st at 4 o'clock. Anna?
Works for me, thank you.
Anna, can you let Danny and Frida know, please?
I sure will.
All right. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that
to
motion.
adjourn.
I'll second it.
John motion, Bill seconded. Any discussion?
Question.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? All right, thank you.